Good morning from Breazeales Grocery Bluegrass. We're located here at 5109 Liberty Highway, Pendleton, South Carolina. I'm your host today, Don Acevedo, with my co-host, Mr. Mark Stoudemire, and he's over there getting his computer ready. We got some stuff for you this morning. Today's Wednesday, October the 26th. November. I'm sorry, I didn't change. November 26, 2025. Anyway, today is sometime in November. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving Day. The weather outside is 64 degrees, sunny skies. The high today is supposed to reach 70 degrees with a 0% chance of rain. A nice cool day in the upstate today. Our shout outs go to Jane, Heather, Josh, Carter, Blaine, Hampton, Hudson, Kinsey, Kim, Josh, Blakely, Grant, Sylvia, Heidi, Charlie, Harper, Julie, and a longtime friend David Hall, and of course always loving Martin Acevedo. Here at Breazeales Grocery Bluegrass, we do quite a few things, but one of the things that we do, we have music lessons all week. We teach fiddle, classical fiddle, mandolin, bass guitar, banjo, anything with a string. We teach it, and we have the best instructors, in my opinion, in the upstate by far. For more information, you can call me here, Don, at 864-376-1482 for more information on that. We sell hats, shirts, mugs. We also sell instruments, fiddles, mandolins, bass guitars, banjos, pretty much anything with a string on it, we sell it. If we don't have it in the store here, we'll make sure we get you one. Our sponsor today is Steck Equipment for all your equipment needs. We are now an authorized dealer for this area, located at 5109 Pendleton, South Carolina. You can call here at 864-376-1482. Ask for me, Don, and I'll help you with your equipment needs. Anyway, that's it. Good morning, world. We're here today, live from Liberty Highway. We got several things in the making here this morning, and Mark's got something for us this morning.
Good morning. What week is it this week, Don?
What's that?
What's tomorrow?
Tomorrow's
big
Thanksgiving.
Day. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Thanksgiving Day, getting closer to Christmas. Yeah.
Turkey Day.
Yeah.
I suppose if it's like normal, the Detroit Lions football team will play on TV tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
ever since I've been a kid, 50 or 60 years ago, they always played the early Thanksgiving Day games.
Yeah.
So it's a big week. A lot of people traveling. A lot of people home for the holiday and all. So we got a couple of things. Jane, Don's better half, had asked us to talk about some.
Suggestions.
She made suggestion. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to read you a little bit about the first Thanksgiving first, and then we're going to talk about maybe one of the songs that we always think of as a Thanksgiving song. So the first Thanksgiving was a 1621 harvest festival celebrated by the Plymouth colonists and the Wampanoag tribe, Native American tribe in Massachusetts. It marked the colonists' successful harvest. It doesn't say so, but I would assume that maybe that was the first harvest. It was a 3-day event. It included feasting, hunting, and diplomacy between the two groups. The colonists, which I think that's the ones we call the Pilgrims, and the Wampanoag Indian tribe in Massachusetts. It was not an official holiday at that time, but it is recognized today as the first in a series of harvest celebrations that eventually led to the modern Thanksgiving holiday. Okay, I've already told you the celebration was attended by approximately 53 pilgrims and 90 members of the Wampanoag tribe led by Chief Massasoit, Massasoit. The event was a 3-day festival that included feasting with the Wampanoag tribe sharing 5 deer, and the pilgrims provided fowl. I think today we think of that as turkey because we call it Turkey Day. And the Pilgrims provided the fowl. Both groups also participated in activities like military displays, games, and storytelling. It featured items that could be hunted, gathered, or grown at the time, such as deer, fowl, fish, corn, squash, and beans. Still sounds like a pretty good Thanksgiving meal, doesn't it? I don't know about leaving out the pies, though. Gotta have pumpkin pie, don't we? Okay, the feast was a gesture of goodwill and a strategic alliance between those two groups. The alliance, however, did not last for a long time. Modern Thanksgiving, under that heading, the 1621 feast was not an annual tradition, but a one-off event, this says. Now, this is AI from the computer here. The modern National Thanksgiving holiday was established much later in 1863 by President Abraham Lincoln. So we have President Lincoln to thank for declaring that a national holiday. Now, on the negative side, I'll read this too because it's all part of it. For many Native Americans today, this holiday is not a celebration of harmony, but a reminder of much of the violence, oppression, and bloodshed that followed as after the European settlers arrived and they expanded over the nation. So anyway, that tells you a bit about the first Thanksgiving Day and the celebration and sort of how that came to be. Now there's a version of it. It's called We Gather Together. It's in hymn books, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about that here in a little bit. We gather together. I want you to hear it for real before I fool around with it on the guitar or something. Wonder if I could find it by the Tabernacle Choir. We gather together. Let's see if I put Tabernacle in, if it'll come up. Tabernacle Choir. Okay, this is the We Gather Together. Maybe I better look at this. Now we've got the commercial, of course. Okay, well, I'm not sure. I think this is going to be the Mormon Tabernacle Choir, but I'm not positive it's not actually saying that. But now we're going to skip ahead. And it looks like that. Prayer of Thanksgiving. Okay. Here's the song. Tabernacle Choir doing We Gather Together with a full, huge orchestra. And the hymn, and now I'm going to hunt up and tell you just a little bit about that hymn, because as I learned, it really didn't start out as a Thanksgiving song. So give me just a second to find what I'm looking for here. I'm going to type in history, We Gather Together. Okay, there we go. We Gather Together. History of Hymns is the site that I've found. It's Discipleship Ministries. Let me go to the article instead of the AI here. We Gather Together as a 17th century Dutch song translated into English at a later date by Theodore Baker. It's at the time of this writing, it was in the United Methodist Hymnal at page 131. Okay, let me just read this. This is by articles by C. Michael Hahn, who is a music, I think, professor and choir director and all of that. It says so down here. He's a distinguished professor of church music at Perkins School of Theology. He is also director of the seminary's sacred music program. So, Mr. Hahn wrote this article, and it starts with the first verse. We gather together to ask the Lord's blessing. He chastens and hastens his will to make known. The wicked oppressing now cease from distressing. Sing praises to his name, he forgets not his own. Okay, in many American hymnals, We Gather Together appears as a Thanksgiving hymn. Perhaps this is because of the opening line and the general idea that God is with us regardless of our circumstances. However, the hymn speaks more about God's providence throughout the trials of life. The story behind the hymn will clarify its text. This hymn is a late 16th century, that's 1500s. I always have to think about that, but this hymn is a late 16th century expression of celebration of freedom by the Netherlands from Spanish oppression. Like many older hymns, it finds its way to us through a circuitous route. Although listed as an anonymous hymn, some sources indicate that Adrianus Valerius, circa 1575 to 1625, known for his poems on the Dutch War of Independence from the perspective of a peasant, authored the original text in Dutch. Since making a living as a poet was not possible at that time, Valerius had a prosperous career as the toll and customs controller for Veer, that's spelled V-E-E-R-E, eventually being promoted to tax collections and finally appointed to the city council. So it was written by a politician, I guess. Is that right? The hymn was first published in, and it gives me Netherlands, I can't pronounce that. It's a collection by Valerius in Haarlem. I guess that's a town in the Netherlands at the time, Haarlem, focusing on folk poems and melodies on the Dutch wars, which occurred from 1555 to 1625. Valerius collected and arranged the songs for this publication for 30 years until he passed away in 1625. This collection is not as important for its poetry as it was for understanding the Protestant attitudes of the day. The work's significance was exemplified by its adoption in Zeeland, that's spelled Z-E-E-L-A-N-D, as part of the religious education curriculum in homes and churches. Now, American Edward Crimser included the hymn in, and I can't pronounce that either, it's the English version is 6 Old Netherlands Folk Songs, in 1877 for his men's chorus. All 6 anonymous songs taken from the Valerius collection 250 years earlier According to the United Methodist hymnal editor, the Reverend Carlton Young, the performance of these tunes led to their popularity and inclusion in many hymnals. The story extends to the United States through Theodore Baker, who lived from 1851 to 1934. He was a New York-born musicologist who studied in Leipzig, Germany, which, if you know anything about classical, a lot of the famous classical guys went through Leipzig at some point or another. And he authored the famous Biographical Dictionary of Music and Musicians. Baker translated the hymn from German for an anthem entitled Prayer for Thanksgiving. He published it in 1894. Baker is the source of the hymn's traditional Thanksgiving connection in the United States. So we thank Theodore Baker for turning that song about freedom from oppression of one nation by another into our famous and well-loved Thanksgiving song. A little bit more, the Dutch, long a stronghold for the Reformed theology of John Calvin, were in a struggle against Spain for their political independence and against the Catholic Church for religious harmony. During this time, the Dutch East India Company extended its trade beyond that of the English. The high period of Dutch art flourished with Hals, Vermeer, and Rembrandt. Under the guidance of the Prince Frederick Henry's leadership, Spain's efforts to regain supremacy on land and sea were finally overcome in 1648. There was indeed much for which they were thankful for. Okay, some of the political overtones in this hymn, faithfully translated by Baker, are apparent. Hymnologist Albert Bailey suggests that the phrase, "the wicked oppressing now cease from distressing," is an allusion to the persecution of the Catholic Church under the policies of Spain. Thousands had been massacred and hundreds of homes burned by the Spanish in 1576 during the siege of Antwerp, Belgium, I think. In stanza 2, the writer states, "So from the beginning, the fight we were winning," stressing that Protestants had always been assured of winning the cause. The truce of 1609 proved that the Lord, quote, "wast," W-A-S-T, at our side. Increased during World War II when singers connected the wicked oppressing to Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan. More recently, the "We Gather Together" was featured at the funeral mass for Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis in 1994. An interesting sidebar was that Baker's anthem inspired another hymn. A young Julia Cady Corey, who lived from 1882 to 1963, heard this text in 1902 at her church, which was Brick Presbyterian Church in New York City. She wrote a song, a hymn called "We Praise Thee, O God, Our Redeemer Creator," is a more general hymn of praise and thanksgiving that also uses the Dutch tune Kremser, which is the same tune. And if you like the first line, "We praise Thee, O God, our Redeemer Creator." See, that's the same tune as "We Gather Together" on that hymn. Corey's hymn did not include any reference to nationalism, no politics, no nationalism, making it a more general ecumenical hymn of thanksgiving. The United Methodist Hymnal at this time of this writing has placed this hymn in the Providence section rather than other traditional American Thanksgiving hymns. I think he's talking probably about Miss Corey's hymn being placed in the Providence section. Broadening its use from this national holiday to use during any difficult circumstances. Okay, that's the whole article. I hope you don't mind me that I read, but anyway, it's Thanksgiving week, and that's one of our favorite hymns of Thanksgiving, and I think that's, I was going to show you that I have a little hymn fake book here that I got on Amazon. It's over 150 hymns, and every one is in the key of C. And this is "We Gather Together," and you see it's got the simple note line, and it's got 3 verses. So this is a great little book for guitar players and stringed instrument players who want to play chords with themselves, and the melodies, as I said, are simple, and everyone are in the key of C. What that means is if you want to play on the piano, there are probably minimal sharps and flats, because the three primary chords in the key of C are C, F, and G, and none of those have a sharp or flat in them. So the key of C on the piano is pretty much all white keys. So anyway, I'm about to see my guitar's about to fall off the piano over here. Let me, we got 3 minutes. Let me finish up here right quick with this guitar. And what I'm going to try to do is play this note line so you can see, you can hear the simple melody of We Gather Together, and see how maybe I count it while I play it. I'm just going to play the note line, so there's not going to be anything fancy here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, and 2, and 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1. And there is We Gather Together, a very simple version, but this is a great book, and it's a great hymn. There are other Thanksgiving hymns. We talked about Come Ye Thankful People Come. I think maybe I went over the river and through the woods last year, but we won't try to go over anything else today, but I hope you got some history out of the We Gather Together, a great American hymn, and I think that's it. And we will plan on seeing you next week, I believe. So, bye from Breazeales Grocery Bluegrass. We will see you next week.